Hello, everyone. Welcome to the weekly collective reading. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. It's great to see you. Today, you chose a really great topic, which is sliding doors. It's all about ends, beginnings, and new timelines. And this is going to allow us to basically make the best choice possible. And if you watch my channel at all with any frequency, you'll know that the reason we show up is so that we can shift and make a better choice and get in a different timeline if we need to. Intuition is kind of like memories from a future you coming through. And if you pick up on things that you like, stick with it. If you see something you don't, you are the one behind the wheel. I'm just giving you the map today. Good to see you. Okay, so collective. Everyone's welcome. Messages are for everyone. There are going to be some specific sections like the elemental breakdown, where I'll kind of tap into all of the signs. But otherwise, it's for you if you showed up. And it doesn't matter when you watch it, today, live on Sunday, or at 11:59 on next Saturday, there's still going to be information here for you. Okay, again, I'm Nicholas, and behind me, if I can pull up my graphic here, is Apollo. He's he's our little psychic dog who hangs out with us and creates some chaos sometimes as well. All right, I want to start off with channel messages first. So this morning, it was really interesting. First of all, I love that there was some extra sleep here for those of us in the States that shifted back to standard time. I wish we could just stay at this. But as I got some extra sleep and some time to meditate, a lot of messages came through. One of them was about reconfiguring spaces and just the importance of the place that you spend most of your time, whether it's your office, your car, or at home, or a combination of these places. I saw basically moving things around, moving things out. Some of you might be moving, but it's important in how you arrange things. So for those of you that want to learn a little bit more about feng shui or just feel like you've got some stuff that you don't need, I definitely got a nod from Spirit that now is a time to reconfigure. That's the word that really comes to mind as I'm thinking about all of this. The other thing that I'm picking up on is for some of you, you might be looking at sort of like questioning where to next. So not just like movement, but moving with purpose. Because there are times in our lives where we can wing it and just make it work. But it feels like it's important in this moment to be very precise, measured, and deliberate is the word that really Spirit's ringing on here. Be deliberate about your choices so that you can align to something that really feels right to you. And when you are clear, you can manifest a lot easier. Otherwise, it's kind of like the universe is just tossing things your way and saying, is this what you want, or how about this? And if you're very crystal clear on what it is, things just start to materialize much more with greater ease than they would otherwise. So look at the space that you're in. Think about the next step that you want to take. And the other thing here is kind of like we have a hazy day behind us. Clearing the air with communication. If something needs to be said, if something needs to be addressed, if there are feelings that need to be sort of put out there in the open, this is also the time to clear the air. And as we look at the special topic today, we'll see if there's some specific areas where you can focus on that energy. But in the meantime, why don't we delve into the 7-day forecast? So this is going to help us navigate, just like it sounds, tactically through the week ahead and make the best choices we can based on the information coming from the cards. So I'm going to choose one of my newer decks here. And this is Infinite Door. I can paste a link in a second. But let's just go ahead and get tuned in first and foremost. So if you don't mind, take a moment, please, to close your eyes. Imagine a circle of light around your body. And in that circle of light, know that you are connected to source energy. You can also see the sun connecting with your crown chakra. Let's call in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters into this space. And let's see what this week has in store for us. Interesting. All right, why don't we get started with the energy for today first? So one of my favorite cards here, Four of Wands coming through. It is a great day for foundational work. And if you remember yesterday for the daily, I believe we had the World come through. We had an Ace today also coming through. And now we can see that teamwork makes the dream work in this particular version of the Four of Wands. I like that they show that the people may not be there yet, because I often like to interpret Four of Wands as setting the stage or the big magnet that's going to pull in those people. So don't panic if you haven't met that perfect connection just yet. Today is a foundational day. I'm looking to call in this type of person, this type of experience, and I'm doing the work on myself. I'm putting together all of the energy, the space around me. That's why I saw kind of like that reconfiguration. So this is very much a time to reconfigure and know that it's going to happen even if it isn't today. Look at how these little wands have, it's almost like they're tiptoeing, or they're either hands or feet. It looks like they're hands. So they're kind of moving forward. And I like to remind people with wands, especially like an Ace of Wands, it's an idea, it's a concept. It requires hands-on work. So today is a day to roll up your sleeves rather, and get your hands dirty and do something with the idea. Bring it and breathe it into your reality. But together you can do it better. So if there's a person in your life that you trust, pick up the phone, send an email, put a text out there, and see if someone might be willing to kind of connect with you. A great day for love, relationships, and just kind of hanging out with people that you love as well. Any commitment today that is made, that is signed on, has the potential to go the distance as well, because that's a really good card for like marriage agreements and contracts. So we like what we see today. It's a powerful day. Don't sleep on it. Even though it's the weekend and sometimes we just kind of like to hope for the best and, like hit the snooze button. This isn't a day to hit the snooze button per se. All right, let's get into the beginning of the week. On Monday, we have Temperance, which is about balance. They chose a very interesting way to show it here because we have the hands coming out of the sort of the lake, or not the lake, but the pond, and trying to balance all of these things. Normally it's an angel. I want to pull the Temperance angel for a second because for me it's one of the most powerful cards that nods that you're okay. Like Spirit has your back, whether it's the best or worst day, there's a way to get through it. And it's typically by not overreacting and just kind of like taking a deep breath and taking a step back. Temperance, just like it sounds, means don't go to extremes. So if you feel something intense, bite your tongue for a second and just think to yourself, how does this factor into the larger picture? How did I get here? What's next? This is what I was talking about, like traveling with a purpose. So here's your Temperance angel. We still have the theme of balancing like we have there, but the Temperance angel is saying, elevate this. And I'm going to get strategic. If I need to fix it, if I need to come back and say something that is going to show you how I feel, I'm going to do it with such presence, with such efficacy, basically, that there will be no doubt that, I'm right and this is the right thing to do. So you want to measure your words and really think about what the next step is going to be. This is a day for meditation, for planning, for taking care of yourself, and introspective work, not necessarily communicating, but if you have to communicate, do it with diplomacy. Buy yourself time. Say, I hear what you're saying. I think we need to look into this a little bit more. I think we need to follow up later this week. What about this day? You're showing I'm listening, I care, I need time. And if someone tries to push you in a corner, you'll do your best to navigate it and just say, with great reservations, I'm going to agree to this amount, but I want to put this on the record that I don't think we need to move this quickly. Try to advocate for a more cautious approach. I think that's going to help you. And keeping your emotions in check will help. We all have them, but they have a time and a place to come through, and in communication, you want to be careful with that. Make sure everyone's doing their fair share, because you might be taking on more than you need to. And this is about achieving better balance. So if it doesn't exist, delegation could be very, very effective, okay? Overall, Temperance is also a reminder that Spirit is speaking and working with you, but sometimes in a very subtle way. So take time to tune in, to meditate, and to trust what your instincts are saying. To that end, Tuesday, we get a little bit of a download coming from Spirit. But if you burn the candle at both ends and you're busy, you may not be paying attention to that. If, like the traditional magician card, you're pulled in a lot of directions and like he's got all the elements in front of him, so sometimes he gets distracted. If that happens, then the ability to tune in isn't always there. Trust your instincts. Don't overextend. Less is more. Do less, but do it better. Do it more effectively. And if someone tries to pull the wool over your eyes and manipulate you or get you to do something that you don't want to do, you will know. You will see it. But you need to trust yourself enough to speak up and say, I don't think so. So always speak your truth. Always call out some nonsense if you see it. And sometimes this is a little test that can lead to a magician reverse, that can lead to like the Seven of Swords or something. So someone may be just seeing, are you on your game? Can I get away with this? And you say, wait a second, I see you. That's not what we talked about. And then just redirect. And then they know that you're nobody's fool, right? Mostly, though, this is just trusting and focusing. Faith and focus, if I could summarize, is the key, or are the keys to your success. As above, so below. Again, breathing an idea and bringing it into this reality. So follow through is a big thing already this week. Make sure that you're following through. Make sure that you're not hesitating. Now, it might be time to take a trip, take a step back, or get some distance as we go to the midweek. So we have the Eight of Cups coming through here. And for some of you, there is so much going on, or you're so attached to a certain outcome that you may not know, do I want to do this or do I not? How do I truly feel? So make some time in your schedule to step back and get perspective. 5 minutes, 5 days, 5 hours, it doesn't matter. Like, just get out of it a little bit. I don't know why I chose 5, because you could choose 8 too, but I just something small, just to get that sort of distance, and you'll be all right. I also see this as a chance for you to finish something that you haven't. So if there's any unfinished business and you've been thinking, gosh, I really need to finish this before such and such gets back to me, do it. You'll get ahead of someone nagging you, and you'll be happy that you did it. Second chances. So there might be something coming around again, and now is your chance to ace it, basically, or hit it out of the park. And then ultimately, though, this is a question of, are you in or are you out? That's why the distance is going to be important. Sometimes with the Eight of Cups, we're a little wishy-washy. We say we don't want something, but kind of like in a hesitant way. I don't know. I don't think I want to do that. That's not as effective as, I'm too busy. How about next week? Or I'm just too busy. You should ask this person. Those are clear. They're clear and they have a follow-up. The other one's like, I don't know, because you're almost inviting someone to, talk you into it. With the Eight of Cups, unless you want the door open, close it. Because that's what it represents, is that either or, wishy-washy. So in communication, be direct if you want to. The one perk with this is if there's something and you're not sure and you want to give yourself wiggle room, you've got it. So there you go. A lot to unpack, but Wednesday's a day where it is a little vague because of like the Seven of Cups is vague going into it. That's why you're getting away from the sort of cloud or the haze that's behind you so that you can see where you're at. We got 2 cards that came through. I only looked at the top one, so let's look at this. We have the Ten of Swords and the Fool. All right, nobody's fool. That's what this is. So the Ten of Swords is what could potentially happen. An argument, burnout, a misstep, a misfire, just feeling like over it. Or you could just go in another direction, the Fool. Take a step back, because the Fool is reversed. And again, it's interesting because I hadn't looked at it, but I'm like, you're nobody's fool. I was like, the Fool's not here, but the Fool is here. So the Fool is also representing not doing something foolish. And so step back from this. Don't take the bait. On Thursday, someone may come through and try to incite a disagreement or an argument. They may test your ego. They may get under your skin. Temperance from the beginning of the week was reminding you, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that because I know where I'm going, and I know you're just trying to distract me, and I know you're just testing to see if I'm going to take the bait, and I'm not. And what you can do that's much more effective is just to say, is everything all right? Like, this seems out of character. This seems out of form. Let's talk. What's really going on? You can redirect and put it back at them and kind of see how that unfolds. But typically with the Ten of Swords, honestly, it is better just to walk in the other direction. So I think there's something that you can completely avoid. We love it when there's clarification naturally like this. So don't be afraid to walk away. Don't be afraid to take a step back. Don't be afraid to go in a different direction and say, I think this isn't what I want. This might end up burning me out a little bit, right? So you have choices. Make the best choices possible and elevate your communication. So don't meet fire with fire. Instead, meet it with a sense of curiosity, with kindness, with boundaries. And also, if someone takes a shot and they shouldn't, just say, I don't think this isn't productive right now. Why don't we talk later? Lots and lots of ways to avoid this. From a health perspective, you may be working too hard. You may be taking on too much stress. And it's really important to focus on yourself. And I do think that you can avoid this just by taking a day off, taking a step back. If you didn't do it Wednesday, do it Thursday. And you may need to do a 2-day retreat or break or something to get away from all of this, okay? It pays off at the end of the week because, lo and behold, we have the star coming through. The star card is reversed, and with the star in reverse, there is a tendency sometimes to dim your shine, to be afraid of what others are thinking. And everything that we've been seeing this week shows that, particularly with the work that you might be doing today, this is your moment. I feel like if someone around you is having a hard time with seeing how far you've come, that actually is an indication that they're not your friend, right? So I want to show a theme with the traditional versions of these cards. So the star shares a lot in common with temperance, doesn't it? Do you notice that both of them have cups or chalices that they're balancing out? And both of them are angelic or elevated energies. Literally, the star is about as high in the sky as you can go, and temperance is an angel. So with the message here, you've already laid the groundwork earlier this week for things to go in the right direction. And today, just let it flow. On Friday, just let it flow. Don't force the flow. Don't force the progress. Don't be anything less than authentic. And if there is someone around you that won't let you kind of do what you need to do, they're just afraid of losing you, or they're afraid of you outshining them. And that indicates so much more about their personality, what they're dealing with. And like I said, what does a star do? It shines. There may be a little bit more attention that you need to face, a little bit more scrutiny that might be in front of you, but you can handle it because you've been building up the perspective all week, actually. And by the way, we got our first sliding door today. So this was your first sliding door here in the energy of Thursday because we had two options. If you take this option, you get this door. If not, you get sort of like a delay. So let's choose the high path. Let's take a break. Let's shine. And then that sets us up for some good stuff over the weekend. All right. So as we look at the energy of Saturday, we have 9 of Wands. Hard work pays off. Perseverance pays off. You're going to be able to get through whatever challenge is in front of you with ease, with aplomb, with success. Now, in the traditional card, you would also see like a bandage around the person's forehead. So sometimes we just need to take a mental break because it can be fatiguing to be around people that require so much attention, so much energy. So please take care of yourself. Know that it is worth standing up to whatever this might be, whatever test might be going on here. It's a little tricky around the middle of the week, but it definitely pays off come next Saturday. Other things with this. Even if you have to go back and, address a bunch of things, fix more than you thought you needed to, the end result's really positive. And you're so much closer than you think to completion, so just don't give up, okay? Keep pushing, keep pressing on, keep doing this. You've got it. And then by the time we look at a week from today, we have an opportunity here. We have the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse position. You could be deciding, I'm done with something, and you could release it. When you look at it, it's almost like he's dropping that ace. I don't want to do this, I want to do this. You could be asking for something. I need more time, energy, money, support. You could also be accepting something. The ace in reverse is a lot more transactional than like planting a seed of intention. It's saying, I want it, I need it, or I don't want it, or how about this? You're getting very communicative with this ace. So look at the value, look at what's necessary, articulate what the difference is between the two. What do you want? Speak your mind next Sunday because that is going to help you get what you want. And it does look like something's missing, but it's within reach. It's just about reaching for it, speaking about it, asking for it, okay? Don't overextend yourself. Don't spend too much of your time, energy, or money, because it is valuable, it is finite, and you need to take care of yourself. Let's look at highlights and lowlights, and then we'll move on to the next section. So highlights, I think today is a highlight. I think the middle of the week, so Sunday, Wednesday, and this upcoming Saturday, all of the ones kind of like right here, amazing. Your challenges are manageable because I think the biggest challenge, your sliding door this week is Thursday. Something interesting happens and it feels like you can go one way or another. It's up to you. Let's go the path of the fool and step into something new if possible. I think Friday can be rewarding if you make good choices on Thursday. The rest of the week is manageable. This is the trickiest day right here. Okay, Thursday. All right, I'm going to give Apollo a little snack, and then we're going to move on. So I'll let you take a quick screenshot of this if you need to, and then we'll move on to the next section. Okay, let's move on to the elemental forecast. We're going to take a look at fire, earth, air, and water. This is the only portion of today's reading that is going to be specific to any signs. And let me see which deck I want to use on that. By the way, if you're brand new, show some love and support by hitting the thumbs up, subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell icon so that when there's time changes like today that you're aware of it. You can show some love through super stickers and memberships. You can hit the target if you want to, and I'll extend it today a little bit if we meet our goal. Otherwise, let's get some work done here. All right. Fire. Earth, there we go with the Ten of Swords. Air and water. Okay, let's talk about it. We'll start off with the fire signs. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So interestingly enough, we have the Devil card coming through, representing also potentially one of the sliding door energies this week. It's going to be important not to let something kind of pull you in that doesn't feel right. One of the typical tenets of the Devil card is you'll see people that are chained together. Let me see. I'm going to pull one from the Lights Here's deck while we're talking. Chains are a common theme. So one thing that I would encourage you to do this week is to pay close attention when something comes through and it doesn't feel right, or when someone comes through and you're like, I can tell this is going to be trouble before I even get into it, right? So instincts are everything. If somebody tries to take too much control, too much time, too much energy, you also want to push back on this. Like I said, I think there's a little bit of a test coming through, a test of, are you paying attention? Did you notice? Do you see me? And what you're going to say in this moment is, I see you, don't do that. Okay, so here's your traditional one. Sometimes the Devil is tempting. And we even have like two lovers in the front of this card, which is interesting. It is a different, like a lower version of the lovers. So sometimes the Devil can be sexy, alluring, or tempting, but there's always strings attached. If you notice the strings attached, no matter how romantic or how sexy this sort of option looks, know that the strings will not be worth it. In the long run, it's going to cost a lot more than you're giving. Push back on a contract that doesn't feel right. Don't give in to temptation. Elevate with honesty, integrity, and also clarity. The whole thing about knowing what you're doing next, being clear, definitely a part of this as well. So the Devil doesn't like it when everything is in black and white and laid out. Let me see if there's anything else. By the way, if somebody in your life consistently doesn't come through, they lack integrity, they lack follow through, you just know that that's not going to change. It's a cyclical sort of energy that's come through in your life. And it's time to cut the cords here. Also, if you like someone but they're not available for whatever reason. It doesn't have to be lover. It could be a friend. It could be someone that you need, but they can't give you what you need. Just be glad that you know where you stand. It's not worth it. You can always get a better match, a better bargain. The devil is never the best choice, rather. So you deserve more. You're going to look beyond this, be very alert, and be very clear in communication. And avoid doing a shortcut that you know in the long run might cost you a little bit, okay? See if there's anything else that I want to talk about this. Ultimately, this is a card of reclamation of power. The devil has something that you want. You're probably getting closer to a goal or a dream, and this is just a little test. The universe likes to take a pulse test and say, how far have you come? Are you ready? Do you like this? Okay? So you've got this fire signs. It's just about following your common sense. And by the way, I kind of got the feeling, it looks like for you it's Tuesday when that comes through as a big test. Because I said, there's something about the magician that looks like Seven of Swords or Devil. That's when it starts to come through. And then also again on Thursday with the Ten of Swords test. So those 2 days you want to be extra careful. I feel like the rest of the week you're good. All right, moving on from the fire signs to the earth signs. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You got the Ten of Swords. We talked about this. There are so many ways to elevate it. One of them is just to take a vacation. If you're overdue, recharge your body. I felt so good last night getting some rest. Also, I know I need to catch up on all the monthlies, but it's like I must fully recover or I'm going to get sick again. So you have to take care of yourself too. Make sure that you don't burn out. The Ten of Swords can just be exhaustion. Look at that guy. He's so tired. It can also be a fear of failure or emphasizing a perceived misstep or failure and giving it more weight than it needs to, because you can bounce back from almost anything. It's just a matter of making sure that you contextualize it in a way that doesn't feel like it's the end of the world. This is dramatic. This is a dramatic card. Like, it doesn't take 10 swords to kill someone. It just takes one. And usually this person's in a pool of blood. It's a bleak, night with day peeking through. It's a super dramatic. So this is saying we're going to take the drama down a little bit. I'm not going to over or underreact to anything. Your key to success is this, the temperance energy. I'm going to try to balance it out and try not to worry about this too much. I know it's easier said than done, but perspective, meditation, talking to someone, whatever you can do to gain that point of view is going to be really, really helpful. If you have any chronic pain or fatigue, please take care of that as well. This is a self-care week. The good news with the Ten of Swords, there's nowhere to go but up. And so whatever challenge might have been in your path, the next one in this is really like the Page of Swords, right? So now you've found your voice, you know what you don't want, and now you're going to use your communication skills. I honestly think sometimes knowing what you don't want is just as, if not more valuable than knowing what you want, because you won't waste your time. So there are no true failures if you're growing from that failure or that experience. Just lessons that are more difficult. So we're going to step away from dramatics. We're going to take a step back. And if you need help, ask, okay? Those are the big takeaways for the earth signs. Lots and lots of self-care. Okay, moving on to air. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We have the Lady or the Empress. This is a great week for development, working on things, incubating new ideas. We see the pregnant belly here showing fertility, abundance en route, but not necessarily right here, right now. So you want to continue to nurture the growth, the idea, etc., and don't judge the moment. That's that's why the whole symbolism of pregnancy is so potent. It's saying, I know it's going to come to fruition. I can't give up on that. Even if I'm frustrated, even if there's a lot of other things going on, I'm building something better. So this is a week of building. There could be some empowerment opportunities and tests. The devil energy came through even if it's not present in every element. So it looks like air signs are having a little bit easier time this week on reclamation of power and maybe finding their voice and using their voice. So please embrace that. Other signs, take note. This is how you do it. It's going to be a good week. I do feel like many of you may be a little bit better working on your own. than in groups. So if you feel like kind of hermiting a bit, the Empress here just reminds me of someone who's focusing on herself, her project, or whatever it is that she's doing, and she's going to get that done first. So good week overall. Something needs to be released or birthed by the end of the week, so let's get it done. You're ready. And for you, especially Aquarius in that group, Friday looks amazing. So I feel like it will come to fruition, but take a break at the middle of the week and don't take anything too personally, especially if it's criticism. Step back, and that might just be one opinion in a sea of many. And if you've created something worthwhile, there's going to be an array of reactions. If people passionately love it and passionately hate it, you might have done something amazing. If everyone loves it, it's just popular. If everyone hates it, well, maybe there's some work to be done. But if it's something that has a bell curve and there's a variety of stuff, that just shows it's normal. So we have to take the good and the bad this week. I think that's the takeaway for air signs. Water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Oh, look at that. We've got a sliding door. Okay, very cool in this reading that we're getting that. I didn't even see it when I pulled it. Okay, so you're the sliding door element this week. So Prince of Wands, moving quickly towards something. 10 of Pentacles. Wow, there's a surprise reward on the way, but let's talk about this. So Prince of Wands is very clear on the vision. I want this. Prince being a knight. I want this. I'm doing this. I'm going to take action each and every day towards that end. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Great rewards, but a couple of challenges. Sometimes it can be old systems. The 10 of Pentacles can be family. The 10 of Pentacles can be structure in business. It can be capital, like you have to make sure that you're making enough money. You're the builder this week. If you need help, ask. Don't get too distracted by the old systems. Don't completely ignore them either, of course. But we want to make sure that that falls in alignment here. There could also be an obligatory event, a family wedding or a funeral or a corporate meeting or something that you've promised to do, and you're going to have to make a choice, a difficult choice. Because the Knight of Wands is in the upright position, this might be an instance where the sacrifice is okay. And you have to kind of like make peace with that. You can't be everywhere at once. That's your sliding door. Think about who it is and what they mean to you, and if that's more important or if the opportunity is, because you could miss the opportunity. If the opportunity means a lot, you can go for it and then make up for it later. There is a sliding door with that one. And it is a choice of how long you've been working on something. If you've worked for like years for this one thing, you've got to see it through. And sometimes people just play a guilt trip on you. So take it in stride, know that you're still doing okay. And whether it's mom, dad, friend, etc., this was something like, it could be a once in a lifetime thing. So your sliding door is managing saying no, because you can't be in two places at once. That will actually make both not work. You'll be resentful for going to something that pulled you away from something that you needed, and you'll be unhappy there, and you won't get that opportunity, and that wouldn't be good. If you go for it, you might disappoint someone, but you'll do what you signed up to do, and you'll be happy that you did it. And also, I feel like that could be, if someone isn't aware of how much this means for you, that could be something to unpackage. But that's a sliding door. There's going to be a choice, a decision, or a fork in the road where it's like, I thought I was going to do this. Or I might have even signed the contract, but I have to go in a different direction. You might also decide I need to quit, or I need to change, or I need to. It's like an abrupt course change. Otherwise, just make sure that you have the finances, the support, and the resources to move forward. So you might just be slowing down and getting that. Okay, but that's our sliding door in water. It's interesting. We've seen it in just about each part of the reading right now. So now we're getting ready for the topic. So today it is sliding doors, and we're looking at ends, beginnings, and new timelines. All right, so for this, I'm not certain I'm not going to do a deep dive on the expanded. I may decide if I even want to do the expanded, to be honest. So I'm going to select a deck of cards that I want to use first, and then we'll move into this and see what it has in store. But so far, I'm glad that we chose it. It's been a pretty cool topic. All right. I think I'm going to use Last Unicorn deck for this. And see what's coming forth. So let's just pull the main spread first. And because we're looking at something different, we're going to do a slightly different format on this today because it has ends, beginnings, and timelines. So I feel like I might want to do that instead of the expanded. We change it up occasionally here. I do different types of readings every week. Okay, so if you want me to do that, maybe I'll do that if we hit our target or something. So let's just see what's going on. All right. What is going on with the sliding doors this week? What do we need to pay attention to? All right, so we'll expand in a second. And again, it's going to be something different on the side. We're not going to do Health, Wealth, Love, and Destiny today because this is too different of a reading, and we need to look at it from a different perspective. So the catalyst, which is what I'm looking at, is health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. I've been talking about that. Finally, almost recovered. I have like today and tomorrow, and I'm done with all the steroid treatment that I had, and now I can breathe and focus, and so I'll be churning out all the monthlies this week, so you just have to be patient. And I'm not really even apologizing. I'm just saying, like, I needed the time, and I very rarely take breaks, so I needed to just take care of myself. So take a note from me. Sometimes you just without health, the wealth doesn't matter, and you're not going to have anything. It's the only foundation we have is health. So please take care of yourself this week. This is going to be the deciding factor in some of those sliding door moments. The movie is kind of dated, but there was a movie back in the 90s called that. But the idea being kind of like a revolving door or like just happenstance or synchronicities. When you make a choice, like a choose your own adventure book, a whole series of things comes through. So we're looking this week at what if I chose differently? So when we meet one of the difficult cards, and that might be what the second part is, I may pull alternate cards. What if you chose differently? What do you need to be looking at? And that's really what we're looking at here is how can I make the best choice possible? Health is your first attribute that you're looking at to make the better decision so that your timeline looks better, that your outcome is better. The version of you at the end of the week is better than if you'd done something different. So if it's not healthy, if it makes you unhappy, you probably shouldn't do it. Or you need to find a way to manage it a little bit so it's better for you, okay? Let's go to the center card. So we talked a lot about this. Eight of Cups. On this one, she seems a little bit resistant to take the step that's necessary. So let's go to the traditional version of the Eight of Cups and we'll talk. Eight of Cups is one of the most powerful minor arcana cards because it shows you what's possible if you're willing to just step away. Step away without having to get sick. Step away without having to sort of like be forced or asked to step away. Because then you can decide, why am I feeling the way that I'm feeling? Here's your traditional Eight of Cups. There's always room to return. And there are 8 cups present. There's room for the 9th, which is dream fulfillment. You're like a step away from accomplishing something. But your head's in the books. The horse blinders are on. It's foggy. You can't see through to the finish line. So this is saying, if I just take a step back, that will get me to the better version of myself. But the card was reversed. So she's having difficulty, and she's not stepping back. She's looking at the thicket. Her eye, she's kind of like not focusing on what she should. So this is what she needs to do, is take a step back. Middle of the week, Wednesday, perfect time to do that. And it can literally be 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, I don't care. Just get out of something for a little bit. Get some fresh air before you make the phone call. Have something to eat. Have some coffee. Get something in your body that helps it feel more grounded and nourished. Then decide. Because it does feel like your head's in the clouds a little bit. And that was the previous card, 7 of Cups, head's in the cloud. So we have to pull it down to earth. That's why sometimes eating, drinking, meditating's going to get you more up there. You need to breathe. Hold on to a rock, eat some food, get outside, breathe some air, hug a tree, do something that grounds you, and then make your decision. And then on top of that, we have the Page of Pentacles. That's going to get you there. I know who I am. I know what I want. I'm going to advocate was the word that I wanted to say. I'm going to advocate for this. Also, if something comes your way, you'll know if you want it. So this can be, I need some distance to make the decision. You can make the decision, it will work, but you just need to take a step back. So the other thing that I'm getting from this is a question. Are you on board? Do you want it? Why are you doing this? That's what's coming through as I look at this. These are the questions you can ask yourself to make the better choice. We don't always ask ourselves why we're doing something. Like, why am I saying yes to this party invitation? Why am I working here? Why am I in this relationship? Why am I living here? Why am I still in this? Is there something that I am getting a value of this? Am I delivering something of value? And you're having a little talk with yourself. Pages can be the inner dialogue too. It's not always about, sometimes it's just within. And that will help you make the decision. And again, what will help you get there is, I need to step away from this a little bit. I need to take a deep breath. I need to stop hearing all this noise around me, right? The Hierophant came through today. And so we have the Hierophant and it is reversed. So in this particular deck, he's looking at the key and he's thinking, can I do it? Can I do it? Yes, you can do it. We're just so used to other people stepping into the role of leadership. So traditional Hierophant, the Pope, disciples, 2 keys. Everything has to pass through the Pope. It's a very archaic way of thinking. We all have a connection to the divine. We don't need one guy in all of this regalia to come through and tell us how to connect to Source. We can all connect to Source. It has a time and a place. It represents structures in your life. But you might be tearing down some of those structures. So this was reversed. Many of you are at a point now where it's like, I don't align with that. Maybe I was pushed into this by family. When you grow up, you need to follow in our footsteps and take over the business. Or maybe I was born into something like religion or culture or language, but I feel more connected to this. So this is the veering of the ways that I was talking about. This is another sliding door where you think tradition versus me, my needs, my values, my direction. So you're living your life. And being authentic doesn't mean disappointing other people. And if it does, that's more a mirror of them, like what they need to work on. So there just may be someone in your life that is firmly planted in the old ways, the old guard, the Hierophant. You're looking at it and saying, I think I want to take one of those keys and open the door myself. That was like one of the disciples that just took the keys and said, you know what, thanks, but no thanks. I can do this. I have 2 hands. I can put it in the door. I'm going to make the connection. There may be a gatekeeper that you have to work with and or around. So with the Hierophant reversed, work with the assistant. So having worked many years in structures that were corporate, the most important person in an office is the administrative assistant or the executive secretary or whatever they're called, depending on the different buildings or different companies rather. So that person that assists the Hierophant can help you. And if you're having difficult time getting to them, say, is there someone? They may be able to redirect you. Be kind to the people that work with these people because they can help you. There may be another person that is adjacent to or above the Hierophant, and you can just circumvent them. So you might have to find a different path. There's more than one way. There are two keys in front. And if this person won't unlock the door, either you can or someone else can. So there's an illusion that that's the only way. Another sliding door came through here. Okay, so we have the Lovers, and now we have the Eight of Swords. There is this feeling or this fear, perhaps, of a lack of validation. Literally, the person saying, I love you. But some of us are feeling like, I'm not getting what I need. I'm not hearing it. I'm not seeing it. So the focus this week is on internal acceptance and internal love and internal appreciation. I love myself enough to do this, or I support myself enough to ask for this. All of those sorts of things. In relationships, one way that you can elevate it is just by expressing yourself. So people around you may need more validation than you think. You think they're happy, you think everything's good, but it doesn't hurt to say, thank you so much for this and this and this. And by the way, if I haven't said this, I've been meaning to, and then just kind of like express yourself, put yourself out there. It's sometimes hard because you're not sure how it's going to be received. But if you extend it with love, there's a good chance that it will go well. There could also be a secret admirer. This is something that's unseen. So take a moment to look around you. But the expression of appreciation is one of the opening. This is the key. So one key is you might just do it yourself. The other one is you say something kind, you exude kindness, or in some way put love into the form of communication that you're using, and someone really connects with it. They're like, oh, I didn't know that. They see you in a different light. So you can open a door just with that kindness and with that love. But right now, something's left unsaid. And that's why these cards were reversed. That's why there was a hidden one, which I'm reading as a sliding door this week. So that's, in each of our spreads, we've had at least one. Okay, crowning position. Where's your head at? We have a lot of emotions. Queen of Cups in the reverse position. So I think some of you could be too attached to an outcome. I want it so much that it hurts, right? Or I need this. It has to happen. That is not great for manifestation. What you want to do instead is say, I'm very ready for this. I feel like it's going to happen, and with ease. So I'm just going to step in and do my thing. You want to have a sense of confidence. I want it, but I also know that I can do it, but I don't need it. Like the needing, the wanting, the desiring, the it must happen, we want to take a step back. If you're that attached, you're not ready for something. Some of you are just dealing with a lot of stress from other people in your life. We see one of the ways here to decompress, which is to hang out with loved ones or a pet, or find an artistic or creative and or an emotional outlet so that you're not feeling like I've got all this energy in me and I can't do anything with it. All right? Find an outlet. Find a way to decompress. That'll clear your head a little bit so that you can make better choices. Let me take a drink and then we're going to talk about the Queen of Wands. All right, so in the near future, we have Queen of Wands in the upright position. She's cooking up something good. I do enjoy this version of it because she is someone who's constantly cooking up a new idea, right? So if you find yourself at sort of like this mental block, if you will, maybe even there's a tangible block, like you're not getting the support that you need, you're not seeing the sort of feedback that you want, she thinks like, well, what haven't we tried? What else can we do? She is so not stuck in one way, shape, or form of doing something. And in this moment in time, that actually can be your secret to success. Basically, you're going to say, I'm going to make this work. She's in the desert. She has this daisy. She has this intuition. She has this way, not daisy, sunflower. She's basically making things grow and go in the direction that they need to, with or without the support of other people. So definitely one of my favorite queens because nothing stops her. She's constantly cooking up the next thing. So what are you cooking? What are you doing? What's your plan B? What's your plan C? What's the wild idea that no one else would think of, but you can think of and you can do very, very well? That's what you want to put your energy into. Trust the instincts. Where there's a will, where there's a will, there's a way, and you've got that as long as you believe in yourself. If you don't, then, it's going to be hard to get other people on board, but I do believe you have what it takes. The problem, as we tune into you, could be overthinking. Page of Wands in reverse. You're going into your head too much, and you're thinking, what about this? And then they're going to say that, and then maybe there won't be enough support on this. And it just ends up taking away some of your power, some of your connection. And so don't do that to yourself, right? Really stay focused, really stay present, and put something to practice. Have someone show you what they're talking about. Because I do think that there could be a misunderstanding this week in one or both of you. You're visualizing it, and the words aren't matching the pictures. So when you see it, it'll be crystal clear. So in communication, you can use visuals to help them. And if you're not visualizing it, say, can you point to an example? Like those exact words can help you. Because it does feel like, well, we know there are many different words that can mean the same thing, and there's something being misconstrued. It's getting a little bright now. Let me just pull this down a little bit more. That's better. Okay. What's going on in the environment? We have a Knight of Cups. So there could be some drama. There could be someone around you that is just going through a lot. Unless your job is legitimately to be a therapist, you want to have good boundaries on the, even with a therapist, you have to have boundaries. So I feel like someone around you may not know when to pull in a little bit, focus on themselves, take care of themselves. And so you can't fix everything. You can't fix everyone. Do what you can. Empower them to help themselves as well, or provide a resource. Also, this can just represent a charged environment. Any type of charged environment, a place that you're living, working, or even just the relationship itself. There's a lot going on with the person or people around you, and boundaries and grounding are so important. That as I keep looking at the Temperance card, which has come through a few times for us, one of the things that also is interesting is it doesn't dive in head first. 1 foot on land, 1 foot in water, balancing out the cups. So you don't want to drown in someone else's stuff. Just take a breath, listen, say, okay, and then pull back a little bit. I think it's very important. All right. This is a really interesting Five of Pentacles because we also see the deadlines, the time. Feels like for some of you, you're worried about that. I'm running out of time. I was talking to a friend recently, and I had to remind this person, you're creating your own deadlines. You think you're running out of time, but who set that deadline? So in this Five of Pentacles, we see someone with a clock behind her. We see the Five Pentacles and all this stormy energy around it. The card was reversed. So for some of you, you're feeling like, I'm not getting what I need, and I'm running out of time, and how am I going to? So take a deep breath and don't sell yourself short. The Five of Pentacles comes through oftentimes because maybe people in your past, whether it was your parents or friends or teachers, like they just didn't always tell you, you're amazing and you're worth it. So I'm going to tell you today that you're worth it. This is an illusion, and this is an echo of the past. Thinking like, I guess this is as good as it gets. No, it's not. If you need more, ask. If someone consistently is under-delivering, it's time to pivot. It's also really important to focus on your health. So we've had 2 cards this week representing burnout or sickness. The Ten of Swords can be working yourself to the point that you get very, very sick. This is often connected with seasonal colds and flus. So if your resistance is down, you're more apt to get that. To avoid it, Wednesday and Thursday, remember, take a break. Those were the days where we saw stepping back, and Thursday is the day where this could happen. So we want to make sure that you're resting both days. Don't push yourself. Even though you might think you're a superhero, you are amazing, but you have a physical form and a physical body in this lifetime that is human. and you have to take care of it. You can heal it. That's one thing that I've reconnected with, is healing energy. But I still have to sleep. I still have to eat. I still have to exercise. I still have to meditate. It repairs itself, provided that I maintain it. Maintain your body this week. That is one of the things, back to health, that will make it better. The make it or break it is the health. And this is in hopes, fears, and opportunities. I'm afraid that if I say no, I'm afraid if I take a day off, that they won't like me, that I won't have a job, etc. In my early career, I worked for almost 4 years for a place where I was never hired. I was a contract worker the entire time. And so I didn't really get to take vacations, because if I took it, there was no pay. There was no benefits. I don't think this is legal anymore. They've changed rules and regulations since then. But as a result, I would go to work sick sometimes, because we didn't even have the option to work remotely. This was a while back, early 2000s. So don't do that. I wouldn't do that again. I would take a sick day. I would let them miss me because I was doing essential pieces. I would encourage them to hire me because I was an essential cog in that organization. Sometimes when you take a week vacation or a day or two off, now it's a different job market now, but like in a healthy one, yes. Right now things are crazy. So just take care of yourself. At least take the day off if you're sick, or work from home, okay? And don't let consistently people come in and take you for granted, because it won't be sustainable in the long run. Is it worth keeping something when your health is at risk? The answer is no, okay? All right. In the outcome, we have the 10 of Cups. So I like where you're headed. This is love. This is celebration. This is partnership. This is things coming together. Also, it's a prioritization. I prioritize the environment, the people, and in particular, the ones I love in my life. So it kind of is a nice connection to what we were just talking about, where there is more than just the bottom line. There's more than just a job. There's more than someone that disrespects you and takes advantage of your generosity. There should be reciprocity in what you're focusing on right now, okay? All right, so let's deviate a bit today and look at this from a bigger perspective. So what do you need to end? What do you need to let go of? Let's use a different deck for this, and we'll just leave these cards here, and I'm going to kind of like go in the flow a little bit here. And if I feel like just pulling one card for all of the expanded forecast, I might look at that later. But first things first. All right, so show me, if you will, what it is that needs to come to a close or an end in this moment in time. Okay, we started with a big one. Many of you have made a decision. I want this, or I don't want this. The decision is sitting in your soul and like beneath the surface, but cognitively, you haven't accepted your decision. So you already know something is over. We'll look and see what's over. Something's holding you back from saying that it's over. The minute you let go of it, that's when you can step into the power that is right here, this new version of you. All right, so what are you resisting? These are in the same font. This is, I'm not ready to let it go because I'm grieving it. This is grief, typically. And it's hard sometimes to, I'm going to have to pull another one because the emotions are getting in the way. The attachment to one outcome not happening the way you want it is clouding the vision of being able to see what else is in front of you or what else is available to you. So know this, whatever it was that you wanted, I feel like there's an upgrade or an alternate that is better. But this is disappointment. That's your traditional 5 of Cups. He's looking at that. He hasn't let it go. There's partnership, celebration, friendship. There's a bridge in the background. There's greener shores there, but he's looking at that. And it's like it is the inner child. It's like a little kid when they don't get something that they want, right? And, but mom, but I want it. And that's all it is. It's the inner child crying a little bit, and we all have it. But that's what I wanted. But they didn't want me back, or it didn't want me back, or it didn't happen, but I want it. So it's okay. Have your emotional inner child temper tantrum, let it out. And then you'll notice, well, maybe she's kind of like casually dipping her foot in the pool of possibilities there. There's something better. What if I could do better? How would that feel? What if I'm worth more? What if that wasn't good enough? Suddenly, I don't feel so bad anymore. Maybe I just dodged the biggest bullet through that rejection, through that disappointment. Maybe this tantrum's something I'm going to laugh about in, a few months when I have the distance and the perspective. And in the meantime, maybe to get that perspective, I have to take a couple steps back because it's hard to see it here, but it's easier to see it here. And that's why we've gotten both cards in this reading. The perspective can come from a vacation, a holiday, a sick day, talking to a therapist, having that little tantrum, etc. All right, now that we're seeing why it's happening, what is going on? What are you attached to? I'm not answering questions. People are putting questions in there. That's not what we're doing right now. This is a general. All right, so what is it that you are having a hard time letting go of? We got the devil. Got it. One more time. All right. So, by the way, there could be someone in your life that's also having a hard time letting you go. The shining energy that we got with the star this week, for some of you that, what day was that? Was that Friday? So this is it. I really do feel like there's someone that's just afraid of letting you go too. You could be afraid of letting someone else go. They could be afraid of letting you go, and you could also be afraid of the feedback or the pushback that you get when you step into something new. So it's really what people are thinking, which doesn't matter. And there is a great sort of saying, which is, what you think is none of my business about me. Like, honestly, it's your own opinion, and it's not going to necessarily help me unless I'm asking for it. So let it go and really just lean into it. There is a lot of power. There's a lot of potential with this, right? So I think that you need to trust your idea. And the Page of Wands is a passion card. So there's something in your life, a passion project, or there is something in your life that you are feeling this sense of invigoration, like, I really want to do this, whether it's stepping into a job, making a change in your life, starting a new relationship, turning a new page. It's something new and it's something fun and it's something risky, but it's a calculated risk and you're getting excited about it. You've already decided you want to do it. What's holding you back is letting go that, like, something didn't turn out the way you wanted. But there's something far better. And if you stand still, then you won't grow. And the way that you need to kind of grow is just to kind of lean into this. Protect your intellectual property for those of you that are inventing something or trying something new. And really choose your partner and your friend or your whatever it is you're going to work with wisely. Vet all of that out. That's one thing that I see here. So that is the end. But when we're looking at what also, like, how you can identify the end, someone who judges you harshly, someone who makes you feel that you're not good enough, and someone that kind of holds you back, or something that holds you back. These are not allowing you to spread your wings. You need more autonomy. You need people to respect you. It's time to walk in a different direction. So show me a little bit about what is opening up. What kind of beginnings are coming through? So for some of you, it could be new love. It could also be just newfound happiness. How can you get into that newfound happiness? Rest. And putting things to rest. So we have a couple cards associated with release. And is there anything that you can do to recognize how and when this might come through? So you might need to backtrack. So the Knight of Pentacles in reverse could be deciding, I let something slip through my hands, but I'm not going to now. I'm going to go back and ask, how about this? You might be returning to something that already had been started or built in the past, and now you can actually make it work this time, second chances. We do have a fulfillment card here. So I love what's opening up, and it is very much passion and also like compassion for yourself as well. Okay. Now let's take a look at the way that I'm going to do the expanded today is different. I want to look at it from the perspective of the sliding doors. So we're going to pull 2 cards for the health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're not breaking it down into all the subcategories. That's too time consuming. But I want to give us a little bit of a pulse in that because I know that you would be probably frustrated if I didn't. But it's not the typical way that I would do this. So let me see which deck I want to use. Okay. So expanding, but in a very special way. We're going to do 2 cards for each. Your first choice and what could affect it. Health, wealth, love. You'll notice that some of these are the same cards that I just pulled, so that can help you. And destiny wanted to be this one first. All right, so what I'm going to do is read the first card, and then the other one is the sliding door, the direction that you could go into. All right, so we're going to look at health first. Let me just get the graphics ready. Okay, so for health. No surprise here. No surprise at all. Health is the area where you're going to need to make some changes and make some unexpected turns. Something may not be working. I just went through that. Literally, it's been 4 weeks. It took me about a full month. I can finally fully hear. I had to go on a second round of antibiotics. Or not, and then a second round of steroids. It was a lot. And I'm on like allergy medication and everything. So I'm fine. My voice is good. I can hear. But it took a lot. For any of you that have done sort of steroid treatment before, like I was dizzy. I couldn't focus. That's why the readings are just, they had to wait for me to get through the treatment. So if you went through something like I did, you got to change things up. You got to change. Something isn't working. Death isn't always death. It's just an end. Like, I'm done with that. I have to try this instead. Make the necessary changes. It can be a wake-up call. No pushing snooze. We saw cards like the Ten of Swords. Fatigue, burnout, chronic pain, something that can even be like inflammation. That's what happened with me. And so whatever was causing it, which we figured out, that had to be taken out of the picture. It could be environmental, it could be diet, it could be a person, but something is causing that sense of disease, and you're like, I need to get away from that. I need to make a change. Also, if you've just stagnated a little bit in your own health and workout routine, a change is really, really good. So we already know we're done with this, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And this is a very happy skeleton. And he's taking that key. And this is the second time that we've gotten that. Well, 3, because I had the daily. So the Hierophant, that other key is saying, I'm going to open this door instead. And it's a skeleton key on the nose. So whatever it is that you need to do, you can get through it. It's a scary process, but you can get through it. We have the Queen of Pentacles coming through. Notice what's here. Better diet, fruit, vegetables. This can sometimes represent overdoing it with like sweets and heavy sauces and fatty things. So she's showing the alternate side here, which is let's choose wiser. Let's choose wisely when it comes to what you're putting into your body. Detox and put in the best possible food and liquid that you can. This is also connected with money and environments. So when we're looking at work, and when we're looking at your just general self-worth and spending, those affect your health too. So getting all of that where it needs to be. And of course, grounding yourself. Grounding happens through meditation, rest, exercise. Easy things to access. Doesn't cost any money to close your eyes and tune in. Doesn't cost any money to walk outside or to use the floor and push yourself up or to use your chair if you need to do chair-based exercise because of an injury. So all of those things are available to you. Take it slow, take care of yourself. And the Queen of Pentacles is the better path. She's also very strategic, and she's a natural healing energy. sort of thing. So I mentioned like the Queen of Pentacles has green thumbs. The green energy is just heart energy, healing energy. So you could work with non-traditional Eastern approaches like acupuncture, meditation, yoga. You can connect to your own healing energy as well, tuning in. Prayer is a great form of healing as well. So blend in Eastern and Western to give you that grounding that you need, okay? Let's look at the sliding doors of wealth. So the first card that I got was the Queen of Cups, which is actually pretty good. So the main thing with her, especially as illustrated in this deck, is how she's kind of like in the middle of the rapids, right? So she's slowing down to drink it all in. Everything around her is moving quickly. When you're looking at your current environment in work, school, or just in how you're spending your sort of time and energy, how are you slowing down? Because I don't know if this is the wisest way to collect the water. You could get pulled into something. So make sure this week that you don't get pulled into the rapid pace, the rapid energy, the flow of information. I feel like she needs to protect herself a little bit more than she is. Obviously, she's the Queen of Cups. She can do whatever she wants. But most of us couldn't sit at the bottom of the Niagara Falls and just collect the water gingerly. The alternate here is to focus on one thing. And we had the Ace of Wands come through a couple of times too. So it's saying, I'm going to focus on this. This is where I'm going to put my time and energy. I'm willing to receive this, and then I'm going to put a little bit of my time and energy there. I'm not going to put myself in an environment that is so kind of like chaotic that it could sweep me with it. So I think she needs a little bit better boundaries. The one thing that I love with this, though, is the flow of energy. And both of these are passion related. So take one thing and really let it flow. You could otherwise feel a little bit of a sense of overwhelming, right? Don't go counter to the flow, though. Both of these cards, we want to continue to kindle the spark that we see here, and it's not like you can go up the rapids. So you're going to have to identify the flow, move with the flow of energy, and if something's counter to it, it's not the right time right now. The other interesting thing that I'm seeing right now, we have fire and water. They're not necessarily compatible. And there might be, this is where we're seeing the deviation going in a new direction. Someone may try to pour water on your idea. So in this situation, you move away from the Queen of Cups. She's got her own way of doing things. So you may have to find a place where you can kindle your idea, your energy, and become the King or Queen of Wands, which we did get here. You're cooking up your own thing. Someone else, they may just try to pour water on that because they've got their own energy and they're in their own flow. So working on your own this week could be very powerful if there's something that you're trying to create. Don't let anybody rain on your parade. And also their passion, their energy, they could pull you in a different direction that isn't where you want to be. So keep the integrity of your vision. That's what I'm getting with this, okay? Let's go to love and relationships. Someone has a hard time listening. Here we have someone just pointing the finger, saying things that aren't really kind, but not listening to what you have to say. And instead, you could decide to move in your own path or direction. Block it out because we have a dam, and instead focus on building something for yourself. Five of Swords is someone who lacks integrity, doesn't listen well, and typically just likes to get a rise. Back to that Ten of Swords energy that we picked up around Thursday. This is who you walk away from. And when you walk away from them, you focus on something else. This is school, work, education, personal development, journaling. You're going to do something for you, and you're going to tune that out. Because that's one opinion, that's one point of view, that does not have to be the be-all, end-all at the end of the day. Also, you're moving beyond the inner saboteur. So in a relationship, in life in general, your own voice may come through and say, I'm not good enough, I can't do it. You've done the work. This is a card of work and education, right? So you have to trust that, though, because no one's going to tell you. Very rarely do you have a hype team that is there saying, you're amazing. Sometimes we just have to do that for ourselves. So don't be afraid when you hear that other voice that's saying you're not good enough. say, why the heck not? Look at what I've done here. Look at what I've done here. Show me someone who's done all of that that's better. Like, you got to hype yourself up a little bit, because I feel like there could be some self-doubt eking in and kind of like coming through in the way that isn't ideal. All right, what's it all about? For destiny, we have a reversed Knight of Pentacles. Sometimes when you achieve what it is that you've wanted for so long, there can be this sense that it's either anticlimactic or that the material gain, wealth, or portion of it isn't enough. We're really looking into fulfillment. Sometimes disillusionment is okay. It's saying, oh, I thought I wanted that. I did it. But now I don't think that that's me anymore. I think I need something different. And now we have the sun coming through. Birthing, creation, your charisma, your energy, your power coming forth. And the whole reading has kind of built us up to the sun, which is arguably next to the star. It's like these are two of the best cards. The sun is the most relatable because it's the closest to us. And she's saying, like, I can feel it. It's within reach. We all have that power within us, as I've reminded us many times. Everything in this universe, definitely in this solar system, this is star stuff. Who knows how many stars blew up in order to create the materials that are on this planet, but there were multiple stars that created us. We're all star stuff, and all we need to do is step into that energy of being able to feel the power, feel the light, feel that we can shine, and feel that we can do this. We have been systematically trained to think that we are weak, that we are less than. And this card comes through to reprogram you and say, no, you're part of source. You're literally made of something that shined, but you're also connected to divine energy. So when you feel less than, when you feel down, remember, I used to be part of the night sky. I used to be one of those twinkling lights. Now I'm talking and thinking and breathing and sleeping and crying. But once I was just burning brightly. So if I can do all of this now, imagine what else I can do. Isn't it crazy when you think about it? All these little electrical impulses in this biological brain are like making things happen. I mean, we have a soul too, and we have that. But like the whole thing, it's a miracle that we're all here right now, right? So when we get upset about something someone mean said to us, or something that didn't happen the way we wanted it, it is so minuscule. It is so small compared to this one card. You are that. You are the sun. We all are the sun and the star card, but we forget it. That's the journey of the fool. We have to get back to it, and then we eventually go back into that expansive energy of the world. You return to that whence you came. So we were formed from stardust. We're going to be stardust one day again when this planet explodes and the sun goes red giant phase and all of that. So don't sweat the small stuff, folks. Everything in between doesn't matter as much as it used to. And also, all the stuff that happens on this planet, history repeats itself. We don't study it the way that we used to, but it repeats itself. So when we go several steps back, it's like we've done this before. Literally, we've been in many incarnations. We've done this before. We've had this happen in history before, whatever's happening now. And the planet's still here, and we're still here. So hopefully we can continue to keep doing it and evolving, and hopefully we can learn from it. So what is the timeline that's opening up that gets us out of the minutia? Because it feels like we're in the minutia. It's hard not to get in the minutia right now. Past, present, future is what's needed on this one. Okay, they're all reversed. We're going to just read them one at a time. All right, so here, I'm going to flip them upright so I can read them easier. All right, here's your past, present, future. It starts with this one, sorry. Okay, past, present, future. So in the past, we're very much in the Four of Cups moment. And the Four of Cups in reverse, like, how do I see my way through this challenging situation? The best is yet to come, and typically the universe has that ace floating in the sky. So it is just about changing focus and changing attention like I was trying to do for all of us there. And then the second card, Nine of Pentacles. It's slow. This next portion is going to be slower than you want it to be, but it's going to be rich. When you come out on the other side, this is one of the richest minor arcana cards. If I was looking for a good job, a good opportunity, yeah, I want the 10, but I'll take the 9 any day because it shows self-reliance. You're going to get there anyway, and it's luxury. Like she's seeping in opulence and richness. So if you take time to continue to nurture things, they will grow, you will be fine, it's going to be okay. And then we're ending on the same card that I pulled for the outcome, but we have a little bit of a time marker on it. So this one, as you can see, it's sometime between Christmas, Hanukkah, and New Year's, the very end of the year. It does feel like there'll be a turning point for many of us where it feels like I know what matters. And it could also be like even up to 1 year from now, we're seeing things in a much, much different light. Think about how much has changed this year in 11 months and 2 days. Imagine what one more year will bring through. Look at what we all collectively went through with COVID and how it feels like it just was yesterday, but it also was like 100 years ago. So we will get there. We will get there. We will get through it. It'll feel the same way like it was yesterday and 100 years ago. And we're going to feel like we're 100 years older. But this is saying celebrate what matters now. Friendship, love, people. Now is the time to connect even more closely to the people that you love. And it's not about how many. The 10 of Cups, it's 10 people. It can be less. 10 of Cups, 2 of Cups, 3 of Cups, 6 of Cups. Happiest cards, not a lot. You can count on 2 hands. So quality over quantity. And I think that's the big the big takeaway. Overall, what makes you happy? Quality over quantity and connections. These are the things that we need to be focusing on at least for the next 7 days, but I think potentially for the next year or so to help us navigate the changes that are going on in the world, in our lives, in general. All right. So that was a different approach towards a reading. Sometimes when we have a topic that's this big and this kind of like significant, we have to shift it around a little bit. Okay. All right. So let's take a moment to meditate. I'll pull some healing energy into the meditation as well. We'll do a little bit of silent healing too in this. And then we will look at the final question. Before I get into that, if you enjoyed this, show a little bit of love and support. You can do that by simply hitting the like and subscribe button and leaving a comment when this goes on replay. When this is done, you can also give me a follow on social media so you never miss out on a future reading. I appreciate your love and support. And thank you to everybody that gave with a super sticker or super chat. You're amazing. I see we just got a really generous one too. So I do want to say thank you so much, especially to B. Deidre Brown for that. But we'll say thank you to everybody later. I just happened to see that big red one up there. Okay, let's go ahead and meditate. We're going to pull in some healing energy today. And, we didn't make the target, but that's okay. We had an amazing reading. So I'm going to put in a little healing energy anyway because I think we need it. And then we'll look at your final question. So stick around. There'll be a chance to ask a silent question, and I'll pull a card in just a moment. But in the meantime, let's tune in, folks. All right? Close your eyes if you will. I'd like you to somehow ground yourself. So for me, I'm just going to put a foot on the floor. But like, if you have a stone that you like, particularly a darker stone like onyx or amethyst, it's fine. Find something that makes you feel connected to the earth, or it can be something that you like from a loved one, rosary. It can be, something that means something to you. Go ahead and hold on to that energy that grounds you to this plane, grounds you to something that you love. Now imagine that there's a circle of light around your body, and let's go ahead and place ourselves in a great imaginary environment. So imagine that you're outside on a summer day. I know we're not in summer, but we're going to work with summer right now. In a field of poppies, so there's this beautiful kind of like golden light. And if you've ever looked at poppies, they're so beautiful, even especially California ones. They're like these little sort of like pockets of light. They capture the sunlight and hold it. And so all around you, it's like you're in a field of aces, ace of cups everywhere. but instead of water, they're holding this fiery energy. So imagine that you are cross-legged in this field of golden poppies. You take a nice deep breath, smelling the fragrant sort of flowers all around you, and on the exhale, letting everything go. Give whatever heaviness that you're carrying in your life to the planet. Feel as you're placing your hands and your feet on the earth below you that you can let it go. So breathe in the light from the sun above and the light from the flowers around you. Press into the earth that which you don't need anymore. Let it go. See it going from your lungs into your hands, into your legs, and shoot those sort of thoughts, energies, and feelings into the planet. You don't need it. You don't want it. You can imagine that there's even a tree behind you. You can lean into it. Feel the support on your back. Also allow yourself to connect with the tree, rooting yourself into the energy of the earth, following the roots of the tree into the upper crust and mantle, and feeling I am connected, I am safe. Following the tree up to the sky, drinking in the sunlight. Let's do that for a moment. I'd like you to drink in the sunlight. You can hold up your hands if you'd like to as well, just like they are flowers. And as you're doing that, imagine that you're cupping energy in each of the flowers, in each of your hands. Feel a slight activation in your hands as the sunlight starts to pour into it. And now direct this in your life where you need healing. You can also direct it towards your heart, leaving one hand towards the sky, one towards your heart, protecting yourself and creating now this beautiful auric field around your body. Imagine that it starts with the top hand and it goes all the way around, like you're weaving this beautiful cocoon or chrysalis of energy around your body. Keep holding space. Keep creating this safety net, this safety chrysalis, this globe of energy around your body. And with each inhale, you're bringing in that healing energy to each and every part of your body, any place where there is disease or any place where there is pain, including emotional and any sort of physical pain. And as you breathe out, allowing the light to simply heal it, remove it, and know that you are now safe. We're going to take about a minute or so and just silently meditate with gratitude. Think of something you're grateful for and direct the energy in your life in a place that it needs to be directed. When you're ready, place your hands together. Put one on top of the other, forming a cup. One last moment, just allow yourself to receive love, support, and encouragement from the universe and place that in your heart space, sealing it off, knowing that you are safe, you are protected, you are connected. Whatever wish, dream, or vision that you have, you are one step closer to completing that. Take a few deep breaths, keeping this circle of light with you, knowing that it's going to follow you as you go through the week ahead. On the next natural exhale, I'd like you to put your thoughts towards a question that you have, something that I haven't yet answered. And let's give the cards a shuffle and see what Spirit has to say. Okay. So we have the Two of Cups in the reverse position. The Two of Cups in a yes or no would be a yes. However, make sure that it's an even exchange. Make sure you're getting what you need. It's not one-sided. Make sure that you're not taking on more emotionally than you need to. Also, when it comes especially to a relationship, it shouldn't have to be something that you're forcing. Like if you always have to get someone to agree to follow through on plans, for instance, there comes a point where they should also want to. So give room, breathing room in situations so that the other person can sometimes reach out, so that there can be balance and reciprocity. There could be unexpected partnerships and alliances, but just be discerning. Look to make sure there aren't any strings, because we saw that sometimes there is. People may not even be aware of the fact that they have a string, but there's a string sometimes. So we want even exchanges. We want to make sure that emotions don't cloud judgment and that there are no strings attached. But once those have been released, then I think some great things can come through in this week ahead. All right. Let's take a few moments to express some gratitude. Someone asked what minutia is. It's the small stuff. It's like looking at a speck of dust on a shirt and thinking that the shirt is ruined. Just don't sweat the small stuff. Like minute is small. Minutia is a lot of little small stuff that you don't need to worry about. So thanks for asking. But yeah, don't sweat the little things. Sometimes we give too much of an audience to a small criticism that someone says, to one mistake that nobody notices, to just, a little part of the day that doesn't actually summarize the whole. Get the big picture. See it. It's like macro and micro. You've got to go backwards, not backwards. You've got to take a step back so that you can see the bigger view. All right. Thank you, everybody, for showing up today. I appreciate you, and I see you, and I'm glad that you're here. Let me go ahead now and recognize those of you that contributed today, because I appreciate that as well. I know we're not all capable of doing that, so don't worry. I show up and just kind of do what I can for everybody, but thank you also to everybody that helps, because without your support, I can't be here either. So special thanks to the following people. All right. These people gave back today, so I just want to say thanks. Color Me Happy, thank you for your sticker. Happy Sunday to you as well, Wendy. Thank you also to Jean Foley, Lenny365, Teresa Meyer, thank you very much. Miriam Lisbeth, Sinister Days, Cora Griffin, Cheryl F, thank you. Marianne, thank you. Miss Cindy B, much appreciation. Thanks for that cute little sticker. Bun3336, thank you. By the way, I notice a lot of you are members too, so thank you as well to the members that have also given me stickers. It tends to be the people that always, there's a lot of gratitude. I see it. I appreciate it. Paula B888, also in that category, thank you. Thanks for helping me get close to the target, even if we didn't make it today. It's okay. Believe in magic. Amen to that. To, is it Netchick? Yeah, Netchick. And then Lady Intrigue, thank you. Also, so kind of you, Heather W., to gift a membership. I appreciate that. You'll notice that if you want to receive one, there's a little note saying allow memberships. You can always do that. I get questions. It's in chat. Ann Walk, thanks for your sticker and for being a member as well. Yolanda, thank you for the sticker. Ann Walk, again, giving back. I appreciate it. Frederick, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships, and welcome to everybody new that got some of those gifted memberships. Let's see, Institutionalized 88, 19 months. Congrats on, what is that? Almost like it's a year and a half. Thank you so much for being here, and also your consistency too. I appreciate it. Claude McFlurry, thank you so much. Let's see. Ali Kali, thank you. Esmeralda. Also, someone just gifted some memberships here. Deidre Brown, thank you. I noticed that you gave a sticker too, so thank you for both of those. I think it was that big sticker, so I really appreciate that. Yolanda, thank you. Netchick also gifted a membership, so welcome to the newest member. Let's see, Shelly Williams, you rock. Appreciate it. Thank you for being a member and for gifting. And there you are, Deidre. Thank you. That was super generous and much, much appreciated. And Dakota's off today, so I appreciate all of you just being kind in chat, so thanks. Georgia, Jordan, Netchick again, you rock. Heather W. again, thank you. And I'm glad that the cards were coming through and being validating. PJ Good, thanks so much, appreciation. Good to see you. Also a member gifting, I appreciate it. Let's see, Anna Billingsley. Alice G, or Alice S, I think it is. Thank you. Tracy, Grace, I can't read the last part of it, but just Grace, thank you. Leslie Hawk, thank you very much. 2 in a row. Much appreciated. Georgia, Angel, and Monica. I think I got everybody. If I missed anyone, know that I do see it. I will see it when I'm on replay. Much appreciation. So what I'm going to be doing over the next couple of days here is getting us caught up. So the goal is, if I can get it all done by Wednesday, I will. I'm going to try to do a few a day and just not be a perfectionist with them so we can get them out. So the November and December ones should be up by the end of this week. I'm going to take care of my body, but they'll be out there, and then you'll have 2 at once. And then hopefully we'll be back on track with everything and healthy and happy. All right. In the meantime, wishing you guys all the best. Thank you so much for being the best part of what I do here each and every week. I saw we got a couple of last ones here from SF Quigley and Yelena and Coco Maple. Thanks, guys, so much. All right. I hope you enjoyed today's reading. Apollo's in the other room, but you got to see him a couple times today. So take care of yourselves. Make sure that you check out the daily if you haven't already. And again, on replay, like, share, subscribe, show some love. And you can also give me a follow elsewhere. All right, everybody, from my heart to yours, wishing you all the best. Take care of yourselves. Have a fantastic week. And I'll see you again, same time, same place.